I'm Sori.
That's Sparky.
And Salty.
Are we doing the... No, we'll do the Best Buy thing another day.
Oh, right. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Some exciting news for you guys.
Adventures.
Yep.
So usually in this segment we go, where in the world is the village? And then we show a shot of the show, of the shirt.
The shirt, yeah.
The Sori secret shirt.
Yeah.
So what happened is last time we had one of our villagers say he wants to buy somebody a shirt. And so now we've got a contest for the phrase, maybe you're sick because of your secrets, because that's what the back of the shirt, right? So you have Sori with this, right? And then in the back it says, maybe you're sick because of your secrets. And so we basically had a little mini essay contest.
Yep.
Which right now we've got a front runner. But keep them coming. Who knows? But so then what happened was one of the villagers that we've already featured emails us and says, that's a great idea. I want to do that. And he said, make sure that you give credit to the original guy who came up with the idea. It's just
Isn't that wild?
It's a $25 shirt.
I know.
That's not...
And he already bought a shirt for himself.
He already has a shirt.
Yeah.
And now he's going to go and buy a shirt for somebody else. So...
ridiculous. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was... You know, that's important that people are like that, and it's very moving to me that people would do that for absolute strangers. A complete
stranger, yeah,
that they don't know. So yeah, I think that's important. I think we've always said from the beginning that we're trying to create something bigger than our reaction channel.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to do that because, we want to separate ourselves from other reactors or whatever. Or it's because, you guys know who we are. Our cards are always on the table. And it's a strange thing because I can't really quantify what we're actually trying to do. Because we're not on a conversion mission.
I know, sometimes I'll see somebody post in the comments, they'll be like, you're just trying to save everybody.
Yeah.
And no, it's...
Yeah, but
we're good if people want to follow our religion with us. But.
Well, obviously, we believe the best way to live in the world is to follow Jesus. But we're not trying to convert anyone.
Right.
But we're seeing people, the gifts that we believe that God has given them, they're now expressing it. And so now we're writing this story, and then you're doing the voiceover, and Pony's doing the comic art, and I'm probably going to lay down some guitar tracks as the ambiance for the story.
Really?
And we got Ecstatics, who is our featured guy whenever we do podcasts, and it's his original music. Yeah. And we've got Bovie, and then we've got, there's so many people coming together, freely giving of their art. I told Pony, because she's an amazing graphic artist, and so we're doing something that's I don't think it's ever been done before. And so I'm like, I gotta find a way to pay you, and she's like, no, absolutely not. And it's just it's unbelievable to me. So I don't know, I kind of at a loss for words, and I guess we should just do the Sevendust song, because I had Pete, who donated on Patreon, so I can get this book so we can do our book club thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's just so many people are just doing all this shit unprompted, and really genuinely, I always say, I'm a here and now person. I'm not really an afterlife person. But doing really good things in the world for people that they don't know. And it's now spreading, and it's coming from our village. And I'm just extremely proud of all of you. So, anyway. All right. And now on to Bitch.
Oh, my gosh. What a transition.
From Sevendust. I am still rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Put those ass. Go.
I can't imagine to be like you. The pain and the suffering you put me through. I can't imagine to be like you. The pain and the suffering you put me through. I can't imagine to be like you. The pain and the suffering you put me through. I can't imagine to be like you. The pain and the suffering you put me through. I can't imagine to be like you. The pain and the suffering you put me through. I can't imagine to be like you. The pain and the suffering you put me through.
Ooh, I like that. Yes. I am a Sevendust person.
Really?
I love this song. What do you like? Give it like a 3 or something?
What did you like about it?
I liked the beat. I liked the singing. The topic sucks. I mean, I've not been in a situation like that. For somebody who's been through that sort of a situation, I'm sure that would not be a very fun song for. But it was really upbeat sounding, which I thought was weird because of what it was singing about. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it when they started singing that part, and then some of the little solo parts in there. And yeah, I liked it. And I know it was repetitive. Like, I get that. It was very repetitive. And honestly, I wanted a chorus because the name of the song is Bitch. So I thought they were going to have like a chorus. They're going to Bitch! Like get real hard in there. That would have made it, I'd have given it 2 more points for that. And I'd have made it a 10. So obviously you know what my score is. But yeah, you didn't like it. It was boring too.
I mean,
I glanced at you in the little camera here. I'm like, yo, Vince, yo.
it just didn't go. It just didn't go anywhere. I mean,
Did you like the singing part, the guy's voice? The singing part in there?
There's a couple songs from this band that I really, really like. In high school,
When you introduced me to those?
I had, because this was the one that was requested from this band. So I was blown away that nobody requested
The one you like?
the one I like. Because I think you would have I think you would really, really would have liked the song.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that we should have Vin Day. Like, there should be one day, at least once a week, where you show me a song that you like. That's how this whole thing started. You showed me... Yeah, and I'm all for
the people.
Doing everything for the people, but damn, I want to hear some of the stuff that you like.
Okay.
That's how you roped me into this whole thing. Seriously.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, do a Vinny session.
Yeah, but this band I had, and they definitely grew after this record. God Almighty.
Really?
Oh, this came out in '98.
I like that. So
I got introduced to them around 2000.
Look, there's another black guy in metal.
Oh yeah, LaJean Witherspoon. LaJean Witherspoon.
That's rare, right?
Yeah. But he like vocally, he has a very soulish,
Yeah.
vocal style.
Yeah.
And they mixed it with metal, which in 2000, it was like Dumbo. Everybody could be metal at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
2000.
I don't think it would work now.
Why? Because
I mean, now they're an established band, so he gets a pass. But back then, metal was a lot more. You could just put anything in there.
It wasn't as defined as it is now.
It was new metal, so you just drop D your guitar.
Just go for it.
And come up with a variation of the Blind riff, and put a band together, and there you go.
I liked it.
But they grew a lot, in their next record. I forgot the name of the record, but they grew a lot after this song.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very anxious to see more of their stuff. You guys, it's 1 a.m. right now. This is a Red Bull. But I want to get some time with Vinny, so he's an insomniac, so he's going to stay up regardless.
For sure.
I'm going to watch up some more of that Vikings.
Yeah.
You didn't like it.
There's just not a lot of places to go with this song.
Okay, if they would have started, if they would have had some hard chorus in there, would have they started saying bitch?
So anyway, I wanted to finish my story.
Oh, I thought you were done.
So I had money, right? And I had so I'm in high school, and I was in Kmart.
Yeah.
And I had $2 bill y'all or $3 bill y'all, which was a Limp Bizkit record, and then I had Sevendust, and I had to choose which CD I was gonna get.
Yeah.
And I chose the Sevendust CD.
You did.
I did, and that really I never really listened to a lot of Limp Bizkit. You know, but
yeah.
Limp Bizkit was a really, really big band at the time. Yeah, but you know, it was a record after this record. I forgot the name of the record, but
well, I'm sure.
It was,
I feel like
they had this one song. It was huge.
I might even like them as much as I like Ghost.
No, oh, I see. People are like, you're voting to actually, all of you ghosties that are telling me, oh, it's not real, blah blah blah. One of our patrons had I don't know if I have permission to post this yet, my man. Let me know. But he posted an entire breakdown. There's like a map of where it's like, wait a second, Ghost might be. He's like, you know what? Ghost might be a little bit sinister. So, have you ever thought about why Eric Danielson from Vate never disses Ghost? Think about that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, just go through the song. I mean, you know. And the thing is, I love Sevendust. I had just never heard the song before.
You know, when you started that story, I'm picturing you. Remember how they used to have those $2 bills that were like floating around for like a small span of time? So you're like, I had a $2 bill, y'all. And then you said, our $3 bill, y'all. And then I'm like, there was no such thing as a $3 bill. Why is he saying he had a $3 bill? I'm like, is he confused? Of course, that was the name of the record, but I didn't know. So I'm like, a lot of times when you're talking, I'm like picturing something else. So it takes a while. I'm like jogging in one direction. I'm like, yo, shit, that's not where he's going. So then I'm like, trying to catch back up to where you are.
You almost punched me.
You're always like, why you have that blank look in your face? I'm like,
that's
because I'm trying to catch up.
The riff was you know, standard late 90s new metal riff.
I liked it. The song, though, what do you think about the words?
Oh, you'll go ahead. This is your song, babe. Go for it.
I can't imagine to be like you. The pain and the suffering you put me through. Oh, I can't imagine to be like you. The pain and the suffering you put me through. Yeah, it's very repetitive. But he's saying, like, somebody obviously put him through some hard stuff, and he's like, I can't even imagine being the type of person that you are. And then he says that again.
And again.
You surround yourself with evil every night that you have as an equal. Well, some people do that. Some people that make other people's lives miserable, they surround themselves with evil and they don't want to get out of those mindsets.
No, I mean, I understand, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, I have, you know, experienced that. And it's a very, you know, there's this movie, well, go ahead.
Maybe the repetitive nature of it is supposed to be like the same thing all the time. You're experiencing it. I don't think they were going there, but let's go with it.
No.
All right.
Well.
What were you gonna say?
So there's this movie, What Dreams May Come, and
you
know, spoiler alert: the guy's wife dies, and then he's all floating around in heaven. He dies too, and he's floating around in heaven. He's trying to find his wife. He can't find her, and basically, she's in hell. But hell isn't like hellfire and brimstone. It's this basically big house. It's dark and gray and dreary, and it's just very, very dark, and nobody's there. Extremely depressing. Mm-hmm. And she's in a house. I think he died of a car accident is what happened, and then she was overcome with grief, so she killed herself.
Oh.
And then, you know, the whole mentality that if you kill yourself, you end up in hell. Uh-huh. But I thought that they did it in a pretty brilliant way, which was she was just like in the afterlife, she was still having that depressed mind state. So she ended up in like a.
She thought she was gonna escape it, and it was there.
Well, it basically, it's like. Basically, I think the point of the movie was like whatever your mind state was, and whatever kind of like the way that you were on the earth.
Yeah. Is
the way that your afterlife was going to be. So the main character was a very happy, joyful, jolly type of guy, and he just happens to die in a car accident. So then he
has a happy
he ends up in heaven, and the angel that's guiding him, and he's, you know, roses are popping up everywhere, and it's just he's having a lot of fun. Well, because he died, she fell into this deep depression. And so she killed herself. And so that basically the depression continued on, basically. And she ended up in a house.
For eternity.
She was, his job was to go over there and get her out of the house.
Oh.
But basically, like, he had, like, a limited time to get her.
Was it good? Would I have liked it?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't like the movie at all.
Oh.
Because of the situation I was in at the time.
No.
Because of
Yeah.
But, like, the whole point was, like, he had, like, 30 minutes to get her out of this house. And so he had to show up and talk to her and, like, try to convince her to get out of the house. And, she was trapped in the depression, so it was extremely difficult. And
what was the name of it?
What Dreams May Come. And so, like, and of course, Robin Williams was the main
I would
character.
have liked it. Forget about it.
Right.
Not interested.
Right. You love. Just for clarity, you love Robin Williams. It's just too sad to look at.
It's too sad for me. Even when he was alive,
yeah,
he was too sad for me to watch.
Yeah, and the irony, of course, is that he had.
And then when something happened to him, I said to myself, you know what? Friggin' how many people surrounded that guy and didn't...
Well, he had a degenerative disease.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm sure, like most comedians, he struggled with depression. But
look in his eyes, you can see it's obvious as hell.
Yeah, it was. But anyway, I watched the movie and it was very profound to me, but obviously it was also very difficult for me because at the time I was in a relationship with a person who just seemed just inevitably kind of trapped in that sort of mentality or idea that she is always depressed and always upset and but then what would happen is, like, she would surround herself with all this evil.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And there'd be all this darkness, and it was extremely difficult to try to.
Because sometimes she would sound like she wanted to get out of it, and then sometimes she sounded like, I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah, and it was
she wanted to swim
it's a constant. It was, so I remember watching that movie, and it was a very significant.
Yeah.
I watched it all. I made myself watch it. I mean, it was a Hollywood movie, so yeah. He got her out, But I remember, watching that and just, like, it was so, I couldn't take my eyes off of it because I was like, whoa. This is hell. We're in hell right now. And I mean, like I say, I'm not an afterlife person, I'm a this life person. Doesn't mean I don't believe there's an afterlife. I believe there's a heaven, I believe there's a hell. I just think our conceptions of it are very pedestrian and juvenile because we're all kids in comparison to eternity. So I think there's a lot that we don't know, but anyway, it was so that line was significant to me. You surround yourself with evil. Every night that you have is an equal. They're all equally terrible because you put yourself in that situation.
Oh. I thought that the night was the person's equal. Like, I say you're my equal. Like the night, and night usually goes with darkness and.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and so, like, you live in your own hell. It
says don't hesitate or you'll live in your own hell. Don't hesitate to what? Get out of the mindsets that you're in?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, you're surrounded by evil. Don't hesitate. You can't get away. It is true, though. People that, like, there are people that want to stay in corruption.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there are people who want to relapse into evil. Whether it's, we've dealt with a lot of drug addiction and stuff like that with the people in our city, but, like, there are people that want, it's like the alcoholic who.
I was gonna say, there's always a drive-by. They always find some way to get, like this one girl, she had to go back to get her clothes at the building that she always got her drugs from. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And the mentality here, though, is kind of like, I can't imagine it being like you. Like, you have to put yourself above the person. You can't do that. You can't. When you have to recognize that that's what you're doing, Yeah, it's like this false pity that people have, where people say, I pity you. No, you don't. You're just saying that you pity them so that you can feel that you're above them. Because he's saying, I can't imagine to be like you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like, people do that. They'll say like,
Well,
I pity you. But they really don't. They're not pitying the person. It's just a way for them to diss the person and put the person beneath them.
Oh, yeah. When you say that.
Yeah, they don't really mean, there's very little pity for people like that.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so like, it is true. Like when you're in a some sort of like, when a person like that is in your orbit, it becomes, I'll tell you what, it's a war of attrition.
Oh my gosh.
Like after a while, you just get worn down, like emotionally and spiritually. You know, like, this is the 8,476th time we're going through this. Okay, you know, and you just, you know, it's a war of attrition. You get worn down, and you know, it's exhausting. And then he's saying like, I can't imagine to be like you. But if you're around a person long enough like that, you do become like them. That's the thing. It's like the evil that you judge in a person.
Or did you?
Well,
that I don't know about?
No, I don't. I it would be impossible to hide, right? Because she was pretty obvious about stuff. But
yeah.
No, but I account that to be supernatural. And I also account it to have the self-awareness to know that if you're not careful, you can be like that. So that's why I'm so big on self-awareness. Because, like, you can become like what you despise. As a matter of fact, the thing that you despise the most is the thing that you're most susceptible to becoming.
No, isn't that weird? It's true, though.
Well, a lot of the reasons that you despise things in people is because it's a vulnerability in yourself. Or, you know, so for example, like for me, like, you know, cowardice was always it's probably the most despised trait that I have. Like, go into the thing and deal with what you have to deal with. But I remember as a very, very early age, there was a certain incident with a certain member of my family who did a very heinous and, in my mind, a very cowardly act. And they shared my bloodline. So, like, part of me was always like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. So a lot of my life, I overcompensated and did crazy stuff and
to prove you weren't.
Just to prove to myself that I wasn't this thing that I feared I was going to become because this person was, you know,
wow.
You know, and so like a lot of the things that we hate the most are the things that we fear we're going to be. So, like, it's one of those. It's a precautionary tale. Like, you know, we all love to sit in judgment of each other and point the finger at each other, but and the scripture says, like, basically there's a passage in Galatians that says, if your brother's in trouble, help him out, but make sure you don't fall into the shit that he's doing.
Same pit.
Yeah. So it's like, that's a real principle. Like, anything that you judge a person, because anytime somebody's in a bad situation, you can have one of two reactions. One reaction is to just completely judge them. And another reaction is to help them.
Right.
But in both situations, you can end up being like the person you're judging or helping if you're not careful. And so it's like, I can't imagine to be like you and all this, and then you go and make a song about it, and a not very good one at that. So I can't imagine to be like you. Write a whack-ass song like that with repetitive, lazy riffs. Anyway.
Clouds that follow you. Rainy days will always find you. You can never get away. Evil come another day. Or you'll live in. Don't hesitate or live. Yeah, I mean, I think we get the point.
I got an email from a guy, actually, the guy that won a shirt.
That won?
That won one of the shirts, because there's two out there. And he had to deal with he got dealt a fucking terrible hand, man. He got dealt a really, really terrible hand. And he made the decision that he wasn't gonna use that as an excuse to. He pushed back the darkness and laid it where it needed to be laid. You know, and good for you, brother. And that's the way forward. But anyway, I think if you look at these lyrics, like with certain degrees of self-awareness, you know, it's like, I'm assuming this is a popular song of theirs, and I always wonder to myself, like, why do certain songs or certain bands become popular?
Yeah.
And I think it's our propensity to always point the finger at other people and say shit like, I can't believe you.
I would never.
I cannot imagine. Really?
Yeah.
You can't imagine it all. Okay. All right. Don't know yourself. It's like Jordan Peterson said, where he said that in his class, one of the things he tries to do is go through all the atrocities of the 20th century.
Yeah.
And he wants to, and he tells people, he said, anytime you read a historical narrative, you always put yourself in the position of the victim or the hero. And so when you read about the shit that the Nazis did and the regular German citizens did, or
nobody ever thinks they're the bad guy.
Everybody thinks that they would have done something different. And Jordan Peterson, he said he spent an entire semester trying to convince these kids, no.
Yeah.
You would have been those regular, statistically speaking, it is highly unlikely that you would have done the right thing. So when we say, like, I can't imagine being like you, we don't have the self-awareness to understand what type of people we really are.
Amen.
We really
I
don't.
totally believe it. Yeah, but we've seen it,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we have.
We've been on the front lines of some major atrocities.
We have.
That in this day and age are not recognized as atrocities.
Right, and one of these days we're just going to do a fireside on it because it's got to be talked about. But yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, it's like, it's real shit. Where people are more upset about pictures than
it's totally true.
Than the circumstances that produce them.
Their lunch.
Yeah, the mad guys and all that. So yeah, I just think that I think we all need to take a really hard look at ourselves and be like, really, you cannot imagine to be like them. You can't imagine being like that German citizen, huh? At all. Can't imagine being like that regular Russian guy with Comrade Stalin. At all. You would have been the revolutionary.
Yeah, we're always the good Samaritan.
You would put your you'd have put those Jews in your basement, huh? And put you and your whole family in danger from the Schutzstaffel. Okay. All right. What did you give the song?
I said I gave it an 8.
3.
Okay.
3. All right. Do you have anything else to say to the nice people?
No.
You have nothing?
Good night.
I love you.
I love you too.
This is not on the playlist.
What?
Not on the playlist.
What's not?
This song.
Oh, for you. Yeah, I know.
Then out.
Sorry out.
Gone.